Hello students, in this class we are going to discuss about single tuned capacitive coupled amplifiers. Up to now we have seen about small signal single tuned amplifier. So in this class single tuned capacitive coupled amplifier we are going to see this is the circuit for single tuned capacitive coupled amplifier. It is looking like normal single stage CE amplifier, but the only difference is instead of a collector resistor, we have a LC tuned circuit. So this is also called as the tank circuit. The only change between CE and this circuit is this one. As we are connected the LC tank circuit here, it has some resonance frequency. So at that resonant frequency only we will get the maximum output signal, and for the remaining all frequencies other than the resonance frequency of this tank circuit we will get the minimum output voltage. So these single-tuned amplifiers are used to select some particular frequency. If we want to amplify only a particular band of frequencies, like in FM radio, there are many channels that are broadcasting FM signals, but at the receiver, we have to receive only one particular channel, which means that we have to amplify only that particular frequency and has to eliminate the remaining frequencies. At that time, we have to use a single tuned amplifier so that we can amplify only that particular channel and we can eliminate the remaining channels. Here in this circuit, the CC means that the coupling capacitors, input coupling capacitor and output coupling capacitor, used to eliminate the DC. So which means that these capacitors blocks the DC and allows the AC signal only. Here Vs is the AC signal source and Rs is the source resistance. R1, R2, Re are providing biasing for our amplifier, and CE is the emitter bypass capacitor used to bypass the unnecessary currents, and also it will improve the gain of our amplifier. So here VCC is the supply voltage, and we will take the output voltage across the collector terminal. So let us see the derivation for single tuned capacitive coupled amplifier. So in order to do the derivation for this, we have to draw the equivalent circuit. So this is the equivalent circuit of hybrid pi model of about amplifier circuit. So here the input signal Vs and Rs are drawn as it is, and remaining RBB dash resistance between base to virtual base, and RB-E between the resistance between virtual base to emitter, and CB-C input capacitance, and CB-C is the feedback capacitance, and here RB-C is the feedback resistance. GMVB-C is the output current source, and GCE output conductance. This can also be written as 1 by RCE. So up to here, this is the circuit for hybrid pi model. The only changes here is C and L values. So in this figure, instead of the collector resistor, we have used LC parallel circuit. Those LC parallel circuit is represented here. Here the R is the leakage resistance of this inductor, and we will take the output voltage across the collector terminal to ground terminal. So here this dotted Ri, which represents that if it is a multi-stage amplifier, then the impedance, the input impedance of the second stage will be the load for the stage 1. Therefore, we have indicated input resistance of second stage in dotted lines. In order to simplify the circuit, we are applying Miller's theorem here. So if you observe, the resistance of RB-C is very large. The practical value is approximately 4 mega ohms. When compared with the reactance of CB-C, the RB-C is a very large value. Hence, the resultant will be approximately equal to the reactance of CB-C. That's why in the equivalent circuit, we are going to eliminate the RB-C resistance, and this CB-C capacitor can be splitted into input side and output side by using Miller's theorem. When we apply the Miller's theorem, the input side capacitances CB dash C is in parallel with the CB dash E. Okay, the CB dash C and CB dash E will be in parallel. That can be represented as CI. At the output side, the C equivalent value is the summation of the C value plus the Miller's capacitance of CB dash C. And the series RL circuit can be replaced into the parallel LR circuit LP-RP like this. The reactance of LR, so even though in a series circuit and parallel circuit both are same. Okay, so let us see the values of input capacitor Ci and C equivalent at the output side. The input capacitor Ci is a combination of Cb-e plus the Miller's capacitance Cb-c into 1 minus A, where A is the voltage gain of this amplifier circuit. C equivalent is equal to C plus Cb-c into A minus 1 by A. So when you observe this equation, the value of A is very much greater than 1. Therefore, we can neglect the 1 from the equation. Therefore, the equation will become A by A is equal to 1. C equivalent is equal to C plus CB dash C. Okay, we can directly write like that also. GCE, output conductance, is equal to 1 by RCE. This can also be written as HOE minus GMHRE. So the value of GMHRE is very small, hence the HRE value is very small. Therefore, it will be equal to HOE. So 1 by HOE can be written as R naught. Okay. Therefore, output resistance R naught is equal to 1 by HOE. Like that we have represented in the equivalent circuit. In this equivalent circuit, we have replaced the series RL into the parallel RL circuit. So the reactances of series RL and parallel RL circuit both are equal. That's why we are equating the admittances of series RL and parallel RL. So first write the series RL admittance. The Y is equal to 1 by R plus J omega L. If we multiply and divide the equation with R minus J omega L, then the equation will become R minus J omega L by R square plus omega square L square, because here J square is minus 1. That's why here A plus B into A minus B, A square minus B square, that minus will be eliminated by the J square minus 1. Therefore, this equation can be splitted into R by R square plus omega square L square minus J omega L by R square plus omega square L square. Now we are multiplying and dividing the second term with omega, which is equal to R by R square plus omega square L square minus J omega square L divided by omega into R square omega square L square. Okay, the admittance of a parallel RL circuit. So the admittance of parallel RL circuit can be written as Y is equal to 1 by LP plus 1 by RP. Like that we can easily written. Okay, so here LP is a inductance that can be written in terms of reactance J omega LP. Therefore, Y is equal to 1 by RP plus 1 by J omega LP. So these two, as we know that this series RL circuit admittance is equal to the parallel RL circuit. That's why we are equating these two equations. The series RL has the admittance of this one. This can be equated to the parallel RL circuit admittance 1 by RP plus 1 by J omega LP. Therefore, we can say RP is equal to so this entire term is 1 by RP and this term is 1 by J omega LP. Okay, that's like that we have equated Therefore, Rp is a reciprocal of that equation, R square plus omega square L square by R. And Lp can be written as R square plus omega square L square by omega square L. Just we have reciprocated this. So these are all the values of Rp and Lp values, inductance and its resistance. Next one is the center frequency. The center frequency is also called as resonant frequency. The resonance frequency can be given as Fr is equal to 1 by 2 pi root of LPC equivalent. So we already know for any tank circuit, the resonance frequency equation is 1 by 2 pi root of LC. Here LCs are represented with the LP and C equivalent. LP value we already know it is R square plus omega square L square by omega square L, and C equivalent value from the equivalent circuit, C equivalent is equal to CB dash C into A minus 1 by A plus C. Okay, this is the equation for the resonance frequency where we will get the maximum output signal. Next, we are going to calculate the quality factor of our coil. So the quality factor in general, the Q is equal to omega L by R. So the quality factor at resonance frequency omega R can be given as QR is equal to omega R L by R. If the output of stage 1 is connected to the next stage, then the input resistance of second stage will be the load for the first stage. That's why the quality factor will be affected by the input resistance of second stage. So that time we have to calculate the loaded Q value, loaded quality factor value. So in order to calculate that, the values of Rp is equal to, we already derived it, Rp is equal to R square plus omega square L square by R. So if we divide the equation, R square by R is R plus omega square L square by R. And we know that omega square L square by R is very much greater than 1. Therefore, we can say omega square L square is very much greater than R value. That's why the R is very much less than omega square L square. So that we can eliminate R from this equation. Rp is equal to omega square L square by R. So hence we neglected the value of R. Similarly, for LP value, LP is equal to R square plus omega square L square by omega square L. Already we derived this equation. If we divide each term, R square by omega square L plus omega square will get cancelled. L square by L is L. And we know one thing here, omega square L square is very much greater than R. Therefore, the value of omega square L is very much greater than R. So R is small. Small value by large value, which results a small value. Hence, we can neglect this term from the equation. Therefore, LP is approximately equal to L. The value of Rp can be represented in terms of resonant frequency, as instead of omega we will write omega R. Okay, Rp is equal to omega R square L square by R. We know that omega R L by R is the quality factor. QR is equal to omega R L by R. Okay, so in this equation, omega R L by R can be written as QR, and the remaining terms omega R and L are here. Therefore, Rp is equal to QR omega R into L. If we want to get the quality factor QR, therefore QR is equal to Rp divided by omega R into L. Okay, the effective quality factor, including the output resistance of our amplifier and the next stage input resistance along with the value of Rp, can be get from this equivalent circuit. So if you redraw the output side equivalent circuit, C equivalent is in parallel with the LP, that is nothing but L. We are just considering that LP as L, and in parallel with RT, the total resistance. The total resistance RT is equal to output resistance in parallel with the RP in parallel with the RI. Okay, here Ri is the second stage input in resistance, and R naught is the output resistance of this stage. Okay, Rp is the leakage resistance of a parallel circuit. The effective quality factor is a ratio of susceptance of inductance L or capacitance C divided by the conductance of shunt resistance RT. So we already derived the QR is Rp by omega RL. The effective means we are calculating the RT resistance. Instead of Rp, we have to replace RT in the equation. Therefore, the Q effective is equal to RT by omega R L. In terms of the capacitance, we can write the same equation, omega R C equivalent into RT. Next, the voltage gain of our single-tuned capacitive coupled amplifier AV is given as AV is equal to minus Gm RB dash E divided by RBB dash plus RB dash E into RT divided by 1 plus 2JQ effective into del, where del is a fractional variation in the resonant frequency. If there is any small variation in the resonant frequency, that can be represented with del. So at resonant frequency, there is no variations. That's why the AV at resonant frequency can be given as minus Gm RB dash E divided by RBB dash plus RB dash E into RT, because the variation is 0. This entire term will be 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. RT by 1 is RT only. Therefore, voltage gain divided by voltage gain at resonant frequency can be equal to 1 by square root of 1 plus 2 del Q equivalent square. This is the normalized gain. Then next we have to calculate the bandwidth of our single tuned amplifier, the 3 dB bandwidth delta F, which is the difference between higher cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency, which is equal to 1 by 2 pi RT into C equivalent. So in general it is 1 by 2 pi RC. Here R is nothing but RT and C is nothing but C equivalent. This can be written as omega R by 2 pi Q equivalent, because the Q effective in terms of capacitance is omega R C equivalent RT, so that the value of RT into C equivalent is equal to Q effective by omega R. Therefore, in this one, we can replace it as Q effective by omega R. The numerator and denominator reciprocates. Okay. Therefore, 3 dB bandwidth del F is equal to Fr divided by Q effective, because omega R is equal to 2 pi Fr. The 2 pi and the denominator 2 pi will get cancelled. That's why delta F is equal to Fr by Q effective. Now we will see about effect of cascading in single tuned amplifier on bandwidth. So which means that if we connect n stages in cascading, then what is the effect on bandwidth, that we are going to discuss. This is a one more important topic in single tuned amplifiers. The relative gain of a single tuned amplifier with respect to the resonant frequency, we already derived AV by AV resonance is equal to 1 by root of 1 plus 2 del Q equivalent square. But for n stages, the same equation can be written as AV by AV resonant whole power n is equal to this RHS whole power n. So here 1 power n is 1 only, So we are applying this n to the denominator, which becomes 1 plus 2 del q effective square whole power n by 2. This by 2 represents the square root and this n is here. But at 3 dB cutoff frequencies of n stage amplifier, AV by AV resonance whole power n will be equal to 1 by root 2 times. So here both LHS are equal in the above two equations. That's why we are going to compare the two, we are going to equate the two RHS equations. Okay, so if we equate the both RHS equations, 1 by 1 plus 2 del q effective square whole power n by 2 is equal to 1 by root 2. Here the numerators are same. Now we are going to compare the denominators. 1 plus 2 del q effective square whole power n by 2 is equal to root 2. If we square on both sides, then the equation will becomes 1 plus 2 del q effective square whole power n is equal to 2. Now we are taking the n to the right hand side, which becomes 1 by n. Okay, then this 1 can be taken to the right hand side, therefore it becomes minus 1, and the square can be taken to the right hand side, which becomes a square root. Therefore 2 del q effective is equal to plus or minus root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. Substituting the value of a del fractional frequency variation. Here we already know that del is a fractional frequency variation in the resonant frequency, which is omega minus omega r by omega r. Okay, so here omega is a modified frequency, omega r is a resonant frequency. So if we represent the same equation in terms of normal frequencies, here omega is the angular frequency term and f is the normal frequency term, f minus fr by fr. Okay, therefore 2 into, if you substitute the same del value in the above equation, 2 into f minus fr by fr into q effective is equal to plus or minus square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. Therefore the fr can be taken to the right hand side. 2 into f minus fr into q effective is equal to plus or minus fr into root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. If you take the q effective and 2 also to the right hand side, f minus fr is equal to plus or minus resonant frequency divided by 2q effective into square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. So let us consider the frequency f with lower cutoff frequency f1 and higher cutoff frequency f2. Okay, in the place of f, we are going to substitute f1 and f2. If you substitute the f2 in the place of f, which means that higher cutoff frequency, f2 minus fr is equal to resonant frequency fr divided by 2q effective square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. Similarly, if you substitute f1 in the place of f, fr minus f1 is equal to fr by 2q effective square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. So why we have written like this means the value of lower cutoff frequency is less than the resonant frequency. That's why the terms get changed. Okay, therefore the bandwidth of n stage identical amplifier can be given as bandwidth of n stages is equal to higher cutoff frequency f2 minus the lower cutoff frequency f1. Okay, if you just add and subtract fr in these two terms, which means that f2 minus fr plus fr minus f1, here minus fr and plus fr will get cancelled, so the equation can be equate to f2 minus f1 only. Okay, why we are writing like this means we can substitute the f2 minus fr and fr minus f1 from these equations. That's why the bandwidth of n stages can be written as f2 minus fr plus fr minus f1 Now we can substitute these F2 minus Fr and Fr minus F1 equations in the end stage bandwidth as bandwidth of end stages is equal to Fr by 2q effective square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1 plus Fr by 2q effective square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. Okay, so these two terms are equals so that it becomes 2. That 2 and denominator 2 will get cancelled. The bandwidth of n stages is equal to Fr by q effective into square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. Bandwidth of n stages is equal to, so we already know that Fr by q effective is nothing but the bandwidth of single stage. Therefore, the Fr by q effective is replaced as Bw1 into square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. So it is the final equation for n stage bandwidth. So when we cascade n number of single tuned amplifier, then the resultant bandwidth of n stages is equal to bandwidth of stage 1 into square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. Okay, so here n is the stage, of amplifier. Suppose we have 4-stage amplifier, then the n value will becomes 4. So as the value of n is getting increased, then this term will decreases the value of bandwidth. As the number of stages are increasing, the bandwidth will get decreases. From the above equation, we can clear that. We can also see by using one example. Suppose the bandwidth of stage 1 is 20 kilohertz and number of stages cascaded are 3. Therefore, the bandwidth of n stages is equal to the bandwidth of first stage into 2 power 1 by n minus 1. Here n is replaced with n is replaced with 3 and 20 into 10 cube 20 kilohertz into 2 power 1 by 3 minus 1, which is 10.1 kilohertz. So we can say if we increase the number of stages, then the bandwidth got reduced. So if it is only single stage, it has the bandwidth of 20 kilohertz. If we are increasing the number of stages, then the bandwidth is getting decreased. In our tuned amplifiers, we need narrow bandwidth. We need very, very narrow bandwidth in order to increase the selectivity of the signal. That's why if we have less bandwidth or narrow bandwidth, we can easily select the particular frequency. In order to do that, we have to cascade more number of stages. If you want to increase the selectivity, we have to use more number of stages in the tuned amplifiers. Okay, so in general, bandwidth decrement is the problem, one of the disadvantage, but in the tuned amplifiers, the decrement in the bandwidth is the advantage because the narrow bandwidth will increases the selectivity of the signal. We can easily select a particular signal. We can amplify that particular signal only. So that is the advantage when we use a n number of stages. Okay, hope you understood. In the next class, we are going to discuss about double tuned amplifiers. This is the circuit for same single tuned amplifier in which the output is inductively coupled. Up to now we have seen about single tuned capacitively coupled amplifier, and it is the circuit for single tuned inductively coupled amplifier. The only difference here is there is no output coupling capacitor. Instead of using coupling capacitor at the output side, we are taking output through inductively coupled. One transformer we are using here, L1 is the primary inductance and L2 is the secondary inductance, and via inductively coupling we are taking the output voltage here. This is the only difference between the capacitively coupled single tuned amplifier and inductively coupled single tuned amplifier.